吹痛脸庞的感觉，像父亲的责骂，母亲的哭泣，永远难忘记。年少的我喜欢一个人在海边，捡起裤管，光着脚丫踩在沙滩上，总是幻想海洋的尽头有另一个世界，总是以为勇敢的水手是真正的男儿，总是一副弱不禁风孬种的样子，在受人欺负的时候总是听见水手说，他说风雨中这点痛算什么，擦干泪不要怕，至少我们还有梦。他说风雨中这点痛算什么，擦干泪不要问为什么。长大以后为了理想而努力，渐渐地忽略了父亲母亲和故乡的消息。如今的我生活就像在演戏，说着言不由衷的话，戴着伪善的面具，总是拿着微不足道的成就来骗自己，总是莫名其妙感到一阵的空虚，总是靠一点酒精的麻醉才能够睡去，在半睡半醒之间，仿佛又听见水手说，他说风雨中这点痛算什么，擦干泪不要怕，至少我们还有梦。他说风雨中这点痛算什么，擦干泪不要问为什么。寻不到活着的证据，都市的柏油路太硬，踩不出足迹，骄傲无知的现代人不知道珍惜那一片被文明糟蹋过的海洋和天地，只有远离人群才能找回我自己，在带着纤维的空气中自由的呼吸，河畔又传来汽笛声和水手的笑语，永远在内心的最深处听见水手说，他说风雨中这点痛算什么，擦干泪不要怕，至少我们还有梦。他说风雨中这点痛算什么，擦干泪不要问为什么。他说风雨中这点痛算什么，擦干泪不要怕，至少我们还有梦。他说风雨中这点痛算什么，擦干泪不要问为什么。他说风雨中这点痛算什么，擦干泪不要怕，至少我们还有梦。他说风雨中这点痛算什么，擦干泪。
Music Talk News on User Track Player.
User Track Player. User Track Player. Dinner time. Now it's time for 6 p.m. The time now is say why party here. Dinner time. Dinner time. Dinner time.
像花，好花上爱好人陪。
世间人爱花水，枝枝叶叶等待春天。
人讲爱情亲像花，上惊情花开双蕊。
连枝，温温婉婉难分难离。
真心等待你，无日也无年，为何花开花谢花离去？
真心对待你，有情搁有义，为何心酸心乱心稀微？一段情，可是何日的情分也开？
人讲爱情亲像花，上惊情花开双蕊。
后连枝，温温婉婉难分难离。
真心等待你，无日也无年，为何花开花谢花离去？
真心对待你，有情搁有义，为何心酸心若心稀微？一场梦，一段情，可是何日的情分也开？真心等待你，无日也无眠，为何花开花谢花离去？真心对待你，有情搁有义，为何心酸心乱心稀微啊？一场梦，一段情，可是何日的情分也开？
只剩我在淋雨，想着你可能去谁或谁怀里，呼那才搞得我无法呼吸。明明是好天气，却感觉下雨的情绪。我和你为何都我对不起你？转个弯到街上，一个人溜冰，自己像只骄傲的鸭子，不要爱的鸭子。啊哈，去吧，没什么了不起，什么都依你，却看清我自己。虽然我爱你，或许你在害自己，寂寞的鸭子也可以不要你。有时爱会让人变得笨笨的，习惯性只去你的心里，没有你我的心就像遥控器，在每个频道里疯狂找你，疯狂想你，疯狂看你。啊哈，去吧，没什么了不起，什么都一 自己。虽然我爱你，不许你再孩子气。寂寞的鸭子也可以不要你。啊哈，去吧，没什么了不起，什么都依你，却看清我自己。虽然我爱你，不许你再孩子气。寂寞的鸭子也可以不要你。没什么了不起，什么都依你，却看清我自己。虽然我爱你，不许你再孩子气。寂寞的鸭子也可以不要你。
User track player.
User track player.
Traffic update.
At the exit of Alexandra Road, at the intersection of Serangoon Road, there are many cars before Shenton Way is in the direction of Teluk Balanga, and the car broke down before Bukit Timah is in the direction of Grange Road. Please drive carefully in the direction of AYE. At the exit of Malmain, SLE is toward PIE.
The road of speed at the intersection, the direction of Gilang exit, the traffic jam before the intersection of Jalanku, the exit of Woodlands Road, the direction of CTE. Please be careful when driving accidentally.
User track player traffic update is brought to you by Volkswagen. You can buy a car. Fortunately, you can buy the right one. Please log on youcandobetter.sg for more details.
Volkswagen, das Auto.
Much more punch to the friends. User track player.
6:09 p.m.
User track player time report is brought to you by Coltex. Coltex Go. Our stations may get busy sometimes, and that means physical payments can create congestion at the cashier area. As we continue to practice social distancing, we strongly encourage all drivers to make contactless payment via our Coltex Go app, only at Coltex.
Okay, we're now the user track player dinner time story time. Good evening, I am Evan J.
And Paul.
We're listening to the story for Little Red Riding Hood. Are you ready for story time? Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived in a village near the forest. Whenever she went out, the little girl wore a red riding cloak, so everyone in the village called her Little Red Riding Hood. One morning, Little Red Riding Hood asked her mother if she could go to visit her grandmother, as it had been a while since they'd seen each other. That's a good idea, her mother said, so they packed a nice basket for Little Red Riding Hood to take to her grandmother. When the basket was ready, the little girl put on her red cloak and kissed her mother goodbye. Remember, go straight to Grandma's house, her mother cautioned. Don't dawdle along the way, and please don't talk to strangers. The woods are dangerous.
Don't worry, Mommy, said Little Red Riding Hood, I'll be careful. But when Little Red Riding Hood noticed some lovely flowers in the woods, she forgot her promise to her mother. She picked a few, watched the butterflies flit about for a while, listened to the frogs croaking, and then picked a few more. Little Red Riding Hood was enjoying the warm summer days so much that she didn't notice a dark shadow approaching out of the forest behind her. Suddenly, the wolf appeared beside her. What are you doing out here, little girl? The wolf asked in a voice as friendly as he could muster. I'm on my way to see my grandma who lives through the forest, near the brook, Little Red Riding Hood replied. Then she realized how late she was and quickly excused herself, rushing down the path to her grandma's house. The wolf, in the meantime, took a shortcut.
The wolf, a little out of breath from running, arrived at Grandma's and knocked lightly at the door. Oh, thank goodness, dear. Come in, come in. I was worried sick that something had happened to you in the forest, said Grandma, thinking that the knack was her granddaughter. The wolf let himself in. Poor Granny did not have time to say another word. Before the wolf gobbled her up, the wolf let out a satisfied burp, and then poked through Granny's wardrobe to find a nightgown that he liked. He added a frilly sleeping cap, and for good measure, dabbed some of Granny's perfume behind his pointy ears. A few minutes later, Red Riding Hood knocked on the door. The wolf jumped into bed and pulled the covers over his nose. Who was it? He called in a cackly voice. "It's me, Little Red Riding Hood." "Oh, how lovely. Do come in, my dear," croaked the wolf. When Little Red Riding Hood entered the little cottage, she could scarcely recognize her grandmother. "Grandmother, your voice sounds so odd. Is something the matter?" she asked. "Oh, I just have touch of a cold," squeaked the wolf, adding a cough at the end to prove the point. "But grandmother, what big ears you have," said Little Red Riding Hood as she edged closer to the bed. "The better to hear you with, my dear," replied the wolf. "But grandmother, what big eyes you have," said Little Red Riding Hood. "The better to see you with, my dear," replied the wolf. "But grandmother, what big teeth you have," said Little Red Riding Hood, her voice quivering slightly.
"The better to eat you with, my dear," roared the wolf, and he leapt out of the bed and began to chase the little girl. Almost too late, Little Red Riding Hood realized that the person in the bed was not her grandmother, but a hungry wolf. She ran across the room and through the door, shouting, "Help! Wolf!" as loudly as she could. A woodsman who was chopping logs nearby heard her cry and ran towards the cottage as fast as he could. He grabbed the wolf and made him spit out the poor grandmother, who was a bit frazzled by the whole experience, but still in one piece. "Oh Grandma, I was so scared," sobbed Little Red Riding Hood. "I'll never speak to strangers or dawdle in the forest again." There, child. You've learned an important lesson. Thank goodness you shouted loud enough for this kind woodsman to hear you. The woodsman knocked out the wolf and carried him deep into the forest, where he wouldn't bother people any longer. Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother had a nice lunch and a long chat.
So now the story for Little Red Riding Hood has over. We hope you enjoy the story time. We're now find after the breaks.
It's not a cat, it's Hazard Pop Songs, when light it up. Only on User Track Player.
Do you worry that nobody likes you? We'll provide you with friends. Kiflam. I'm the Honorable Chris Formage. Covet your neighbor's ass no longer. The Epsilon program seeks out the convenient bits from every faith to create a religion that is uniquely American. Expensive, promiscuous, and entirely meaningless. And unlike other major religions, we only tithe 8.75%. That means less for God and more for you. All you have to do is read and understand the Epsilon Tract, and the secrets of the universe will be open to you. Just call 1-866-FUN-CULT.
We got you something. It's a deep dish pepperoni and bacon pizza, and we gift wrapped it with over 3.5 feet of bacon. You've been working so hard. We love you. Get a Little Caesars large bacon wrapped deep dish pizza for just $12. Try our convenient app and Pizza Portal pickup. Pizza.
Hey fellas, we're out of paper.
Oh yeah? Out of paper?
Paper!
We're out of paper, so spare no expense. Spend our money till we have none left. So won't you give me that paper, spend my last red cent.
Thanks, guys. I feel better already.
Overspending for paper is nothing to sing about. So go to Staples, where saving is easy. Now get 50% back in Staples rewards on all cut sheet paper. Staples, that was easy.
User Track Player.
风儿呀，诉说起我
事情，越平淡越让人记得，像空气般透明，却呼吸感受着。
我终于明白，伤人的不是分分合合，而是喜欢一个人，不知该怎么说。
我们总是会忽略身边的那一个，拼了命找着，寂寞却越深刻。
成不了你的选择，我还是微笑着。毕竟爱一个人，为的是让对方快乐。
虽然你的笑一直在心里，从未曾放下。
虽然你的好总是在眼里温暖着连接，
能帮你完成你的追逐，也算是幸福啊。虽然这幸福有点苦涩，有点难想。
虽然你的梦对我来说多么像残阳，
虽然你的心依旧那么轻易被触动啊，这段旅程我会把它牢牢地记下，提醒自己你一直都是我的牵挂。事情越平淡越让人记得，像空气般透明，却呼吸感受着。
我终于明白，伤人的不是分分合合，而是喜欢一个人，不知该怎么说。
总是会忽略身边的那一个，拼了命找着，寂寞却越深刻。
成不了你的选择，我还是微笑着。毕竟爱一个人，为的是让对方快乐。
虽然你的笑一直在心里，从未曾放下。
虽然你的好总是在眼里温暖着连接，
能帮你完成你的追逐，也算是幸福啊。虽然这幸福有点苦涩，有点难想。
虽然你的梦对我来说多么像残阳，
虽然你的心依旧那么轻易被触动啊，这段旅程我会把它牢牢地记下，提醒自己你一直都是我的牵挂，提醒自己你一直都是我的牵挂。
Hi, this is Paul.
And Devin J. for User Track Player Dinner Time.
That song is Kumpla by Young Meili and Dang Shushian, and Mamadashu by Shaji Away. Now find the traffic update. User Track Player.
User Track Player.
Traffic update. Upper Butilla heads towards the exit of Hume Avenue, Siglap heads towards Tanjong intersection before there are many cars, before Bayshore direction, traffic jams towards Nickel Highway, traffic jam towards Tampines direction.
Speedway before the Admiralty exit, Yeo Chu Kang intersection. An accident occurred in the direction of the KJE exit. Please be careful to drive the car at the SLE exit. Please be careful to drive at the Sambawang intersection, in the direction of Havelock Road, and in the direction of the Raffles Place exit.
User Track Player traffic update is brought to you by Volkswagen. You can buy a car. Fortunately, you can buy the right one. Please log on youcandobetter.sg for more details.
Volkswagen, das Auto.
The newsletter preview wants to tell you, number of contact tracers up by nearly 50% since mid-July, with sharp rise in COVID-19 cases. MOH said the number of contact tracers had been ramped up over the past month. The number of people working as contact tracers to find those with possible exposure to COVID-19 has been increased by nearly half since mid-July, the Ministry of Health, MOH, told the Straits Times on Thursday, August 12. Close to 2,000 hospitality workers redeployed to essential roles honored in online ceremony. Mr. Akbar Khan Omar Khan, a butler for high-priority guests at Grand Hyatt, was redeployed as a retail assistant at a fair-price supermarket from April to July last year. Mr. Akbar Khan Omar Khan had been working as a butler for high-priority guests at five-star Hotel Grand Hyatt for about 30 years when the COVID-19 pandemic hit. The newsletter has 6:34 p.m. will report details now.
User Track Player newsletter preview is brought to you by Mitsubishi Electric. Mitsubishi Electric Star Mex Aircon gives your excellent energy savings, it's easy to clean, and it's same none of the quietest.
The Hunt, the Eagle, and now the UTP. You are, there is a pop songs.
User Track Player.
Notice the traffic just keeps getting worse? Is your commute taking longer and longer because of traffic jams? It's not your fault. It's someone else's. Tired of watching people on the bus earn special privileges by traveling in a bus-only lane? You can vote to change the future of traffic in San Andreas. Vote yes on Proposition 602. By opening up the bus lanes and paving over train routes, you'll fly across town. People don't have a right to cheap transport. The Constitution is very clear on this. Remember, it's only a small step from mass transit to communism. Proposition 602. Vote yes. It's all about you.
Wow, look at him. I'd do him right now.
Yeah, me too. If he weren't bald. You may not know it, but this happens to every man at least twice a day. If you're balding, you might as well kiss sex goodbye. Even if you're 16 and have a full head of hair, women can tell if you're going to go bald. And that spells trouble. Let's face it, women hate bald men, except basketball players. What causes baldness? Don't take this the wrong way, but the explanation may be downstairs. It's bald, and it wants you to be too. Through a partially scientific study, doctors have determined that an abundance of testosterone causes baldness. And let's be honest, who needs testosterone? Now science brings you Castradon. Castradon goes to the glands that produce testosterone and kills them, protecting your hair and saving your sex life. Within a few days, you'll notice a big difference. You'll begin to look and feel different. If you are willing to do anything to stop the unspeakable from happening to you, take Castradon. Remember, baldness is loneliness. May impair driving, timekeeping, map reading, and home improvement skills. Castradon may also cause periodic moodiness, retail addiction, face painting, and menstruation.
Sexual realignment used to require expensive surgery, months of hormone treatments, years of therapy, and you still ended up looking like a drag queen. Now you can let the woman inside come out in the privacy and comfort of your own home, and it's as fast as this. Slice.
See? Now I'm a woman, thanks to Rapidite. This do-it-yourself sexual realignment kit includes everything you need to go from Brad to Brenda in a jiff. It's just snip, chop, stuff, and swallow, and away you go. Do it in the bathroom and surprise your family with the new you. Comes with an instructional video, rusty knife and tourniquet, 2 aspirins, and 47 pounds of estrogen. It's all you need. When it's time for a change, you want it fast. Rapidite, the do-it-yourself sexual realignment kit. Be exactly who you want to be.
Who cares another singing pop songs?
We got great time worried about. User Track Player, your #1 hit station.
下两字期待，藏心内，上思念的所在，好期待，慢慢回阮转来，感受有你予阮的精彩，用真心换一个安排，决定来。人世界，爱存在，经过春去秋来，1、2、3年来回岁我不知，渐渐知，一生你咧等待，一直希望家己有幸福将来。看天边划过迄粒星，黑阮的同时，想要大声讲我爱你。踮一层爱的天顶，写咱名字，祈求万事平安顺遂，随风送到天边，好天知。祝福的恋情，将上帝藏伫手中，搭伫心情，望你听见我的心事，我两人感情路途，沿路是美丽风景，无风无雨心坚定，寸寸情深。天边划过迄粒星，黑阮的同时，想要大声讲我爱你。踮一层爱的天顶，写咱名字，祈求万事平安顺遂，随风送到天边。心情，望你听见我的心事，看两人感情路途，沿路是美丽风景，无风无雨心坚定，寸寸情深。黑阮的天顶，飞满天。未知。
创治，予你有喜乐有死去。
不管日头偌大，认真来甲拼，总会拼出成功的运命。
翁仔某是缘分，
永远拢是一家伙仔，
应该互相来鼓励，用心来谅解，讲出咱的所有心内话。人生若行过风雨，回头来甲看，咱的愿望是用幸福做对来陪伴。
回甘人生的滋味，回头看过去，
花开迄一时，寒冬渐渐变春天。爱创治，予你有喜乐有死去。
不管日头偌大，认真来甲拼，总会拼出成功的运命。
翁仔某是缘分，
永远拢是一家伙仔，
应该互相来鼓励，用心来谅解，讲出咱的所有心内话。人生若行过风雨，回头来甲看，咱的愿望是用幸福做对来陪伴。一时，寒冬渐渐变春天。人生若行过风雨，回头来甲看，咱的愿望是用幸福做对来陪伴。人生的滋味，回头看过去，花开迄一时，寒冬渐渐变春天。
World's first apple cider vinegar gummy. Taste the apple, not the vinegar. Pectin is recognized as an important prebiotic that supports healthy flourishing of the gut flora, ultimately providing a beneficial environment in the gut. Only from Herbal Farm.
Time, brought to you by Herbal Farm. Herbal Farm, the greatest wealth is health. Please call 67490004.
Realizing the situation, believing in the terrace, and pouring into chapters is time-consuming. Use your track player newsletter.
Evan J.
and Paul, for the newsletter.
Number of contact tracers up by nearly 50% since mid-July, with sharp rise in COVID-19 cases. MOH said the number of contact tracers had been ramped up over the past month. The number of people working as contact tracers to find those with possible exposure to COVID-19 has been increased by nearly half since mid-July, the Ministry of Health, MOH, told the Straits Times on Thursday, August 12. the number of contact tracers has gone up from about 330 to about 480 now. Along with the recent increase in cases, Singapore saw a sudden surge of coronavirus infections after a cluster surrounding KTV lounges was announced on July 12, with the daily number of community cases, zero just 2 days earlier, soon hitting double, and then triple digits. Health Minister Ong Ye Kung said on August 2 that for a small number of cases, it had taken 14 days, from the point of notification of a confirmed case, to issue a quarantine order to close contacts. This was due to the difficulty in tracing the contacts of the infected people in these cases, he said. The number of cases remained high throughout late July and early August, with another major cluster linked to the Jurong fishery port emerging. On Thursday, MOH said the number of contact tracers had been ramped up over the past month, given the increased need for their work, to enable potential cases to be detected and ring-fenced rapidly. The contact tracing team consists of officers from various ministries and volunteers from MOH statutory boards and the public service, and is further supplemented with manpower from external service providers. Street reported in June that the Singapore Armed Forces and police were helping to boost the supply of contact tracers. Ma also said on Thursday that about 100 beds in intensive care units, ICU, across Singapore have been set aside for COVID-19 patients. We are able to expand our ICU capacity if needed to cater for any increase in COVID-19 cases who require critical care, said the ministry. It added that it has been working with public hospitals to progressively expand their capacity to care for COVID-19 patients. Measures taken include retrofitting general wards for easier conversion into isolation and intensive care rooms if needed. The ministry said it has also ensured sufficient supply of medical equipment such as ventilators and medication. Neither MOH nor any of the 3 public healthcare clusters gave details on how many general wards have been converted into wards for COVID-19 patients. However, Professor Leo Yee Sin, Executive Director of the National Center for Infectious Diseases, NCID, said the center and Tan Tock Seng Hospital, both of which have been at the center of the pandemic, now have thrice the number of isolation beds they had before COVID-19 broke out here early last year. And other public healthcare institutions here are also rescheduling some non-urgent consultations or reducing non-urgent surgical work to dedicate more resources to fighting the pandemic. Professor Leo added that NCID is caring for about 1/3 of all hospitalized COVID-19 patients here, with patients in recovery and those with milder conditions being admitted to community care facilities, CCFs. These CCFs currently have the capacity to accommodate more than 5,000 people, and more capacity can be added if needed, said MOH. The CCFs are mainly run by private managing agents and healthcare providers, and supported by public healthcare manpower. MOH added that the SG Healthcare Corps has also been deployed to support CCFs and other operations. The Corps is a medical reserve force set up in April last year to marshal volunteers in the fight against COVID-19. It consists mainly of medical staff from the private sector, retired medical professionals, and those who are medically trained but no longer practicing.
Close to 2,000 hospitality workers redeployed to essential roles honored in online ceremony. Mr. Akbar Khan Omar Khan, a butler for high-priority guests at Grand Hyatt, was redeployed as a retail assistant at a fair-price supermarket from April to July last year. Mr. Akbar Khan Omar Khan had been working as a butler for high-priority guests at 5-star Hotel Grand Hyatt for about 30 years when the COVID-19 pandemic hit. During the circuit breaker last year, his department saw few such guests arriving, so the hotel management offered Mr. Akbar and his colleagues the option to be seconded to another company and work in essential roles. These included jobs as safe distancing ambassadors, contact tracers, temperature screeners, warehouse pickers or packers, and supermarket retail assistants. Mr. Akbar, 48, accepted the offer to work as a retail assistant at a fair-price supermarket, in charge of stocking and rearranging shelves for drinks, rice, sugar and eggs, on Thursday, August 12. Mr. Akbar was one of about 2,000 hotel employees honored for taking on frontline essential roles at an online appreciation session organized by the Food, Drinks and Allied Workers Union, FDAWU. More than 280 representatives from 34 hotels and 15 government agencies and companies attended. Mr. Akbar was also deployed as a safe management inspector with the Singapore Tourism Board from July to November last year. He was in charge of inspecting shops in Little India. He has since returned to Grand Hyatt, but has been helping out at the housekeeping department, which is short-staffed. The FDAWU helped to facilitate the redeployment by connecting the hotels and employers, such as supermarkets. Hotels receive payment from such employers that require the manpower. In turn, the hotels are better able to retain their employees and continue to pay salaries. Four Seasons Hotel Singapore's Director of People and Culture Audrey Chen said that while the hospitality industry was badly impacted by COVID-19, the redeployment has been very helpful in financial terms. Human Resources Manager Kenneth Teo of DFI Retail Group, which owns stores including Cold Storage, Giant and Guardian, said the group had faced a manpower crunch during the circuit breaker period, with some 500 employees stuck in Malaysia. It hired and redeployed about 500 hotel employees. The FDAWU said these employees had exhibited the true spirit of hospitality by stepping forward out of their comfort zone to take on the essential worker roles. Mr. Christopher D'Souza, FDAWU advisor and MP for Holland Bukit GRC, said in a speech at the appreciation ceremony on Thursday that companies had used the redeployment as a way to manage their manpower needs. They have worked tirelessly on the ground and contributed in their own ways to society, such as ensuring adherence to safe management measures, or stocking up supermarket shelves with necessities during the panic buying period. FDAWU General Secretary Tan Hock Soon noted that the COVID-19 pandemic has underscored the importance of flexibility and adaptability. The pandemic may have lasted longer than we had expected, but we have also learned an important lesson to embrace changes and be flexible so that everyone can overcome the challenges together, in our very own Singapore spirit. Newsletter has over. For more information please log on to this website at 8world.com/news. More details.
User Track Player. User Track Player.
Weather report.
Now the weather report is today at thundery showers at Singapore from 1 p.m. to 5:15 on August 12, 2021 on Thursday, so it's 24 degrees and 32 degrees.
User Track Player Weather Report is brought to you by SPC. SPC Levo formulated with advanced friction reduction technology, the improved SPC Levo petrol provides a smoother and more responsive drive, giving you greater fuel savings. SPC keeps getting better.
User Track Player.
User Track Player. Traffic update.
Traffic update. There is the Anson Road exit, the direction of Bagus exit, the Speedway before the Holland exit, Orchard Boulevard before the River Valley exit. Please drive carefully before the Balestier exit.
A Y is in the direction of the heavy traffic at the KJE junction. In the direction of Jilern Road there are many cars at the exit of Jurong East, the traffic jam at the intersection of CTE and PIE, the accidental car broke down at the exit of Chinatown, and the exit of Paya Lebar.
User Track Player traffic update is brought to you by Volkswagen. You can buy a car. Fortunately you can buy the right one. Please log on, youcandobetter.sg for more details.
Volkswagen, das Auto.